Keito Yamura of Japan will go next, but we're going to turn our attention to the women's 1500 metres. That world leading mark by Gudaf Segai in Xiamen. It was really something, wasn't it? Third in the world all time. A great field lined up down there. Sarah Billings ran a 7-second personal best in Xiamen behind that 350. And her Australian teammate Georgia Griffiths went sub 4 for the first time as well, both here. The Australians are so strong in this event. They've got to take any opportunity they can to show form. Plenty of other talent in this field as well. Sawada, the young Japanese athlete being highlighted now, 18 years old, was 6th at the World Juniors last year. A personal best of 4:12, so certainly one to watch. Fujita next along, Akane Yabushita. 4:16 at her best. Lots of athletes just outside that 4:10 barrier. Have an opportunity to dip under that today. Purity Chepkirui of Kenya. In 4:04 at the World Championships last year. Nozomi Tanaka holds pretty much every Japanese national record. Her sub-4 clocking was a front run in the Olympic semi-final to make the final, so this stadium will have happy memories for her. Georgia Griffith back in great form, dipping under that 4 minutes for the first time, as I mentioned, in Xiamen. Izumida goes next. Yume Goto of Japan trains with Nozomi Tanaka. They've been over in the States using some of those facilities and those competitions over there. Ayano Ide of Japan up next. Tomoka Kimura, two-time national champion over 1500 metres and 5000 metres. Rane Arabe represented Japan here at the Tokyo Olympic Games as well. Yoshika Tamura goes next, 4:17 new personal best this season. Vera Hoffmann, all the way from Luxembourg here, the 11-time national indoor champion, 6-time outdoor. She's the national record holder at 4:06 as well. And there's Sarah Billings. Wonderful 3:59 in Xiamen, but she was only 4th at the national championships. Jess Hull won, Georgia Griffiths was 2nd, and then Lyndon Hall, and then Sarah Billings. But, as is always the way, the Australians have got the European season, the rest of the season, to fight it out, to prove their form before they get selected for the major championships. Pace they've been offered here is 64 seconds per lap. It's bang on 4-minute pace. Tanaka ran a new national record indoors. Focused a lot on the 3,000 metres as well, went to the World Indoor Championships over that. I'd expect the likes of Georgia Griffith, Sarah Billings, Nozomi Tanaka get involved in this early pace. So Sarah Billings has made the choice. She's got leg number 1 on her hip. You've either got to sprint out and protect your position, or allow the rest of the field to get past you and then try and come around the outside. But Sarah Billings choosing to get right off the line. And Nozomi Tanaka, as expected, hot on the heels of today's pacemaker. Tanaka is no stranger to front running and pushing the pace. She loves to run hard. So she'll be delighted with Miriam Cherop here. The Kenyan athlete, 4:07 runner at her best, set that personal best last year. So Cherop knows her way around 1500. Griffiths gliding up round the outside. Chepkirui getting involved as well. Griffiths a long way back at the moment.
The standard of women's 1500 metre running this year, Hannah, is bonkers. Coming into this weekend, 33 women, including the top 12 in Xiamen, had run inside 4:05. I mean, I'm becoming a bit of a dinosaur in athletics terms, but I remember it's not that many years ago that you'd look at your eye would raise at a 4:02 or 4:03 and think, wow, they're coming into brilliant form. But there are so many women. 11 have run inside 4 minutes this year, a few of them indoors 4, but the standard's phenomenal. And as you indicated, you know, brilliant times from Griffiths and Billings to go 3rd and 4th on the Australian all-time list, both dipping inside 4 minutes, but both outside the podium finishes in China off the back of Segei's 3rd fastest time in history. A little bit of bumping and barging towards the back of that lead group, but Cherop looking very comfortable. Tanaka, it's a strange position to see her in 2nd place because she so often loves to lead, but Cherop's a former World Junior silver medalist and she's doing a great job, and Tanaka just tucked in 2nd place. But great standards in women's 15 at the moment, it really is.
Certainly is. Tanaka, I'm sure she'll explode once the pacemaker steps out the way. They've drifted ever so slightly outside a 4-minute pace, and you can see the way that's brought the whole field back into it. Tanaka is really good over 5,000. I think it was Eugene at the World Championships. She did the 800 5,000 metre double. She just couldn't turn down the opportunity to race for her nation. So there you go. They've dropped a 70 for the second lap there, 2:14. That pace has really, really dropped, so we're going to have more of a tactical race. Tanaka pulls up alongside Cherop. There are so many athletes lining up behind her. Tamaka Kimura of Japan is tucked on the inside, and she's tracked Tanaka very, very quickly. Sarah Billings trying to find space on the inside. The pacemaker still in the race at the moment, whether the pacemaker is going to choose to finish or not, but she's in the middle of the pack now, causing trouble for the likes of Sarah Billings and perhaps Georgia Griffith. But Nozomi Tanaka takes up the running through the kilometre in 2:48, so it's going to be a real burnout.
Yes, they're all beginning to gather. Look at Griffiths now making her move on the outside. Chepkirui, the 21-year-old former world junior champion in that group as well. But Tanaka goes for broke here on home soil, but there's a big world-class field beginning to reel her in.
I think Tanaka got lucky there in a way that some of the athletes that she was running with that were blocking the rest of the athletes were slowing, and she got a bit of a shot off the front here. But Georgia Griffiths and Sarah Billings have got into their running here. They've got plenty of time. You always say to an athlete, 200 metres is a long way. Everyone thinks the race is done at this point, but if you pace your effort correctly, you've got a lot of time here to ask questions of your competitors or reel someone back in. Georgia Griffiths is on to the shoulder of Nozomi Tanaka. Sarah Billings is tracking Georgia Griffiths. These two will be racking up head-to-heads as they look towards selection for the Olympics for the Australian team. And it is the two Australians that swing into the home straight together, side by side. Griffiths got the better of Billings at the Australian National Championships, but she's going to have to give way to Billings again today, as she did in Xiamen. Billings crosses the line, 4:04.67. That's a 61-second last lap from leader to leader. So probably in the 60 seconds or so for Sarah Billings. A great turn of pace. Georgia Griffiths had her sights set on Tanaka. She had Tanaka well beaten, but couldn't hold off the charge from Billings.
Good run by the Australians. It isn't a PB, 4:04, because of course Billings broke 4 minutes in Xiamen, fourth fastest Australian in history with that 3:59.59, but getting the better of her compatriot there. You mentioned it earlier, Hannah, the strength and depth in Australian women's middle distance, and 15 in particular, is fantastic, with Hall and Hull also at the very peak of their powers. Chepkirui had gone past Tanaka, so she was comfortable in third, the former world junior champion. But look at the way Billings was pulling away from Griffith there just towards the line. Good running by both the Australians, and a useful victory here in a brilliant stadium.
Sarah Billings pausing for the winners' photos. She would be bitterly disappointed, I'm sure, with that fourth place at the National Championships. And you've got such a competitive event. Also, Claudia Hollingsworth was quite a revelation at the Australian Championships in the women's 800.